Today we'll be going through an interesting Japanese web series titled Aoashi. Having played with his seniors, Aokun was sad because he and his team were not able to score a goal. But he remembered his dream, and he went back, but this time he was more determined than before. Then finally, he dribbled past his seniors and scored a goal, then screamed out happily as the whistle was blown. His journey began in his high school, where he played football against other schools and always won for his team, and his team sing of their victory. While trying his shoe ropes properly, a boy from his previous school that is competitive with them came to remind him of how he was not accepted into the football team and tried making Aokun feel bad. But when he talked out of place, Aokun used his head to knock him off like a ball. Then he fell. After the game, his coach told him about how great Coach Kijima came but refused to speak to Aokun because of the way he behaved. While punishing himself, he met a man who told him to stop punishing himself. But while talking, Aokun fainted, only to wake up in the evening. Then he watched and saw how the man greatly played football. The man then told him to come over and he taught him the technique. But having tried it for several hours, Aokun got tired but he didn't get the technique. The man then showed him that assuming he had used the technique he's currently teaching him, he would have scored 3 more goals. Then Aokun showed him the position of each player in his team and how he had calculated the game. Then the man became shocked because he couldn't believe that Aokun remembers all the positions of each player in the team. And all night till it became morning, Aokun had been playing football trying to get the man technique. This made the man marvel, and he then gave Aokun a form to come over to Tokyo for their football tryout. Aokun's brother then gave him money for the traveling expenses. Aokun was happy when he got to the Esperian school in Tokyo, and he marveled at the sight of the field, but while passing, he mistakenly knocked over a girl, Fukuda's sister, who later left him alone. Then he screamed out loud happily, shouting that he finally gets to play on a beautiful field. Then Fukuda addressed the students, making them energized. Aokun then made his first friend, Otoma, who complained that it's because of Aokun's screaming. That's why manager Fukuda addressed them and energized the remaining students. But hearing this made Aokun happy the more. He gets to play with the remaining 85 participants when they are fully energized. Then the game started and Aokun played beautifully, kicking the ball with a strong force, and it immediately entered their opponent's goalpost. The leaders then decided on the best 11 players to pick for the next phase of the competition. Aokun was part of the best 11 players, and for the next phase of the competition, he discussed with some of the team how they would win the next phase of the game. But they got scared when they saw their next opponent was Esperion's current youth champion. But Aokun was happy. Then Aokun's team discussed how to set themselves for the match. And the match began. Then Aokun said how he was going to score a goal, but then a guy came over and kicked it straight into their goalpost, thereby scoring a point above Aokun's team. They played for a while and had almost given up, but Aokun told them not to give up. He boosted their morale for the second half. The second half then started, but having played for a while without scoring a goal, the team got tired, and his team got tired because having played for hours, they didn't win a single goal. Even Aokun was tired, but then he remembered about his family, his brother who had given him all his savings, and his mother trying to provide food for the home. Then he got up and played well, then used his head to give a very nice shot. Then everybody clapped for him, and even Fukuda's sister, whose name is Hana. In the last 3 minutes of the match, Aokun then played nicely with 2 other players, whose names are Takebana and Otomo. Then Aokun kicked the ball in. Finally, they won a goal. For the last test, Aokun was then called in and they asked him some questions which he answered beautifully well. Back in his country, Aokun then boasted of his achievements to his friends, but he was worried as to if he would be picked. To confirm if he was selected, his friends then asked him to open the letter Hana had given him, but when he did so, he saw a timetable for a meal. And then his brother asked him to call her and ask. But while on a call with her, his mom came over and gave him the mail. He was accepted to study football in Tokyo. Then his friends jumped on him happily. At night, while he was on a call with Hana, his mother got home and scolded them like usual. She then picked up the phone and told Hana to give her the estimate of the amount Aokun would be spending. Then the morning for him to leave came, and his mom bade him farewell. While his brother escorted him to the airway, his friends from school came to bid him farewell as well. On the plane, Aokun cried when he finished reading the passionate letter his mother gave him. Aokun was very happy when he saw his 2 friends that helped him in winning the goal, and they started becoming popular. Some girls gave them books to receive their autographs. Then Aokun got to know about Kiribayashi, one of the youngest successful players. At the dorm, the 3 friends then got to meet Asari and Yuma. Then all the students were formally welcomed by the coaches. While the program was ongoing, Togashi arrived. Then Aokun went to give him the shirt that he was told to keep, and then an inter-squad game was organized. Aokun and Hana became closer as time went on. Later, another game was organized and the best players' levels would be upgraded, and Aokun was determined to prove himself. While playing, Aokun then stopped and walked to the front of the goalpost. Then he quickly ran and took the ball and then scored. The second round then started, but all passes made by Aokun didn't work out well. He kept losing the ball that was passed to him, Then his team didn't pass any ball to him again. Then Yuma played the ball well, giving instructions to some people. Then alas, Togashi scored the goal. Hana's friend told her the differences between Yuma and Aokun. He doesn't know how to play the basics of a ball. While the team thanked Yuma, leaving Aokun alone on the field. Feeling sad, Aokun then went to meet his coach and begged him to teach him how to play soccer. At night, when everyone was asleep, Aokun then kept practicing to get better. The next morning, Aokun then called his brother and asked him to tell him how much his fee cost, so he would be more serious with his training. And his roommate, Takayashi, heard their call but left, not wanting to disturb Aokun. At night, he kept practicing again and his friends came to meet him. They all then decided to always practice together. The next evening, when his friends came to meet him for practice, he told them that he would like to rest. He then went to meet his roommate, having heard that he was very good at the basics. And Togashi taught him well, that the next day while practicing with the whole group, he made beautiful passes, which made everyone shocked as to how he has learnt so fast. The next day, they were to play against top players in the country, and they didn't play the match with them. Then they decided to play the game like normal basics of a ball. But Aokun kept breaking the agreement they made and this made Kuroda angry. Then Asari and Kuroda stopped talking to him. The next day was a holiday, and everybody whose house was near left the dorm, as well as Asari and his friends who didn't talk to Aokun while leaving. Thinking of what to do, Hana then came to visit him. Then they both went to her high school with Aokun controlling the bicycle as he walked. She then gave him the new meal timetable that she has prepared, but Aokun shouted at her and told her to stop caring for him. Then she hit him to the floor and ran off with her bicycle. The next day at school, Aokun tried being friends with Asari and Kuroda back. He went to the board to explain his strategy so they would stop being angry at him. But Asari told him to stop the explanation. He then questioned him that why is his strategy only made for him to win. Aokun tried explaining back. Then Asari said because of Aokun, some of his juniors were dropped, and this then resulted into a fight. To be continued.